welcome to the Free Cheese episode 330. I am your Joe Dix, joined by Mark Augustiniak.
What's up?
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. Just hanging out playing Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just hanging out playing Nintendo. We've got a show this week in the wake of the State of Play, the Game Awards, and, of course, a week in video games where there's other news and other things that we've played. How's Mark this week?
Oh, man. Mark just had a company Christmas party. That was alright. I didn't I was still kind of recluse about it.
Yeah, that's the way you're supposed to
Just hanging in my little office. I mean, I was talking to some people. But, I don't, drink often.
Yeah.
Even socially. But this time I was like, you know what? Let's bring out my old classic, which is Kraken with vanilla Coke.
How much Kraken? So you don't drink much, and then you bust this out at the holiday party.
Mm-hmm.
When did you become DJ Mark?
Oh, no, it didn't.
It didn't get to that point?
Didn't get to that point. No, I mean, but usually it's depending on the glass, I try to judge it, but it's always way more Coke than it is
rum.
The rum, yeah. And I think 2 other people wanted to try it, so I made them a glass or 2.
Not bad.
So yeah, pretty good.
Last time I had Kraken.
You just straight Kraken?
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't do that.
I think I was 20, and it was warm.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That sounds.
And it was before I got my tonsils out, so my gag reflex was real fucked up. This is back when I would go to Chick-fil-A, and we'd walk outside after we'd be done eating, and take a drag of a cigarette, and then just vomit on the street.
That's cool.
Because the gag reflex got me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it was hard just to eat meal. My tonsils were fucking huge, so anytime I ate or swallowed water or drink whatever, it just
Is it true that it changes your voice?
I was hoping it would because I hated my voice, but nope, same shitty voice.
Damn.
Yeah. Maybe in some way, but I don't know.
I mean, probably not much of a drastic change, if anything. Just
I was hoping for Puberty 2, the sequel that I needed in 2009 or something. I don't know what. Yeah.
Yeah, because mine aren't taken out.
Oh man.
So it's hard to brush my teeth sometimes. Well, more so my tongue.
Yeah, that back spot. Yeah.
So to get to back of the tongue, roof of the mouth, it's
yeah. Well, I still have that even without the tonsils.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Still have a gag reflex. This was just the gag reflex was constantly being triggered because the tonsils were so inflamed.
Oh, jeez.
So it was cool. It was a neat party trick, though. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, check this out. Come here. Gather around.
When you're 20 and you want to fucking get a rise out of people, you know. When you're still
getting a rise out of yourself.
Literally,
yeah.
Yeah. But that was fun. You'd stand next to the window where old people were eating. You'd show them what you just ate.
Just throw it right on the window.
I'd never go on I didn't want anybody to have to clean it up. You know what I mean? I was an asshole, but I was still respectful.
That'd be funny, though.
Oh, boy. Well, video games. We're going to start this week with a topic of the week. We got another topic of the week later on that'll tie a little bit more into news. Actually, this one kind of ties into news as well. At the Game Awards, we saw the first look at the new Xbox, Project Scarlet, now known as Xbox Series X, and along with it, the debut of Ninja Theory's new game, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. If I remember the title correctly.
Yeah, I think that's the way it was presented.
So, Mark, what I thought was badass was that game. And I love the way it looked. And it reminded me that we don't have games set in that kind of era, that there's something very well realized about that particular thing.
That dark Nordic.
Yeah.
I think a lot of games tap into that, just not a lot of AAA stuff.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Yeah, like God of War might be the closest right now.
Yeah, but not in that
in terms of big scale.
This one taps into that weird, dark, fucked up, guttural.
Yeah,
there's a lot in there, and I think what's the difference is that they do it super well, right? You can very much see the DNA, just living and breathing in every corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question for the topic of the week is, what is a theme or a setting or something like that that you want more in games?
So it has to be something that I don't see enough.
Yeah, what is right? I feel like we're right on the cusp of like the cyberpunk thing. There's been an uptick in, obviously people. You could find a games in any genre, but in terms of like the widespread zeitgeist, I feel like cyberpunk is one that we've started to see a little bit more of. I don't know what other. We had that era of military shooters that was
right.
Everything was that, you know.
I don't know as far as genre goes, but I feel like as soon as I'm going to say it, I know I'm like going to backpedal, really try to correct myself. But I've currently, as I say this, I feel so like that setting of Resident Evil 7.
Yes,
it's in like a old, like shabby house.
Yes,
and I know a lot of horror games kind of have that, but for some reason, there was a certain level of like retroness to it, kind of rustic in a way.
So I mean, I didn't play all the way through, but just playing the kitchen demo, that house felt to me like a family who modernized their house in 1976 and then never again, right? Like it's got that very much like, at one point this was state of the art, but the art and the state has very much changed in the last 30 years, and this family just didn't. I kind of got that feeling of it.
And I think like
kitschy.
Yeah, like I don't know, so I'm not sure about genre.
Yeah.
But as far as visuals go, I feel like I don't see enough of like that weird like rustic kind of.
Yeah, that blend of.
I don't know. I guess because like currently the house I live in with my brother, that house is like built in like the, I don't know, 50s, 60s or something. So like there's still like weird mushrooms in the kitchen and like a yellow rotary phone.
Yeah.
So like my basement is all like thick wood panel.
Yeah.
With like a little bar. So when I was playing Resident Evil 7,
you're looking around.
and like it kind of felt like part of it, that game was in my house. So it just kind of vibed a little too well, I guess.
Yeah.
That and another visual, which I think I tried asking you about it before, like a couple of weeks ago, but I remember seeing it in like textbooks. So they're like old ass textbooks, but we would have them for whatever reason. But the art styles back then, where it's like people from like the 40s would, or whatever, would try to vision what the future would look like, where everyone looks like the Jetsons and everything's all silver and jetpacks and hover cars. But like the houses have like that modern retro like look to them, where it's just like
retro futurism.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, there's a lot of modern houses today that are super expensive that look nice, but they're just giant glass walls and just like maybe a floor.
Right.
That kind of looks like a giant fancy coffee table or something.
Yeah, that whole thing, like
that style I don't see a lot of.
You see that in like the fake ads in Fallout, and there's like elements of that, like that deco noir kind of shit in BioShock. But not like a whole. I mean, I guess Outer Worlds probably does that a little. But
it's like they have it as like a past relic. It's like a past reference. It's not currently taking place in that
right
style,
where everything is like cigar shaped, like weird.
Unless you like build that somehow in The Sims.
Yeah,
that's like the closest you'd get.
Yeah, but there's nothing that like lets you just live in that kind of world.
I mean, not lately. Yeah,
no, that's a good one. I don't know what I'd want. I posed this question kind of trying to figure it out for myself, but I don't know. I like the weird kind of occult shit that we're seeing in something like in Hellblade.
Yeah, I feel like I see it a little bit everywhere.
And there's like dabbles of it, but I feel like nothing has gone all the way.
Like, I like it when it's a little more creative and not just like slapping a pentagram on the stuff.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like, that's fine.
But the pentagram needs a reason, right? Like
a little more purpose, sure. Not just for aesthetic.
Yeah. No, but I would love if you had like a fucking Victorian witch hunt kind of game setting or something like that.
Yeah. But I think tapping into the mythology is pretty cool. And
it's definitely
building upon that.
The start of building a road toward that. And it's just cool that, I mean, I like that nothing's safe anymore. Like, it doesn't have to be safe. People are willing to take more chances, I think. publishers are.
Getting there, yeah.
And I think the rise of independent development has certainly led to an increase in just different things out there because people are able to stretch their wings, try different things.
Mm-hmm.
Did not mean to rhyme, but that's fine.
We need more games with Mode 7.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah.
I don't think that's... Actually, I'm not even sure how... I don't know. Maybe there are games that still have it, but...
Itch.io.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably find a good bit. No, that'd be a good one. I think we kind of answered the topic. I just want a little something to sip on right here at the beginning. I don't know if you've got a genre or a setting or a thing or something that you just feel like maybe there's elements of it or traces of it in a game, but you haven't necessarily seen it. Write in podcast@thefreecheese.com. Is it time to talk about what we've played in the last week?
Probably.
Well then, let's probably talk about Resident Evil 2. I beat it again, Mark.
So now you did both sides.
Both sides. I finished.
Whose dialogue did you like more?
I mean, Leon's fucking cheesy. So there's like parts of that, but yeah. There's something about Claire's face that's like unsettling. They show too much teeth, I think.
It takes some getting used to. Like, I'm fine with it now.
No, but like
it didn't sit with people.
Playing
away.
as her was fine, but then like random bits where she smiles, it was just like it felt like they hit pause on her animation sometimes.
She doesn't quite, if I remember correctly, she doesn't quite look like the actress they
she doesn't at
based
all.
her off
Yeah,
of.
no.
It's close.
Yeah.
But it's just there's something just a little off about it.
But I don't. She had like she definitely taps into the uncanny valley thing. Like
yeah,
I felt like Ada and Leon seemed very natural.
Mm-hmm.
Annette seems pretty natural except for her hair, but it was all good. Actually, dude, can we talk about Annette's jeans for a second?
Is that Sherry's mom?
Yes.
She looks like a lot of the models. Like I feel like her character model was used in Resident Evil 7 and Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah,
because it looks like Dante's mom and Trish a little bit, which that is the same actor. And in Resident Evil 7, it kind of looks like I forget the main character's name. It kind of looks like his girlfriend or wife or whoever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know, just something about I don't know
about that fit. Yeah, I could see that though. I could see if you're making games like that, you want to use the same actor.
But her jeans, what's up with
Dude,
her jeans?
They look like real fucking jeans. There was a scene where she kind of like leans up against the wall and kind of slides down a little bit. She's kind of like sitting up against the wall and she's talking to in this case I was talking to Leon. But I just noticed as she was sliding down like her jeans, and it was just like, those are fucking denim jeans. Like you could see the individual like stitching on the side. Like it was just like, I'm just like, I keep finding things to be impressed with. You know what I mean? Like the monster design's obviously something that you're like, holy shit. But I mean, characters in motion, but then even just the details in the clothes. Because I think a lot of their clothes, you kind of see it, and even though it looks good technically, it's just kind of like, okay, you move on because you're so focused on what's in front of you or what's behind you, right? It's like, okay, well, I can see the vest, or I can see whatever jacket or whatever.
Or like some clothes you're not used to having, like they're in physics.
Yeah,
unless
right?
it's like a duster.
Exactly, yeah. But her, like, just the way in that moment in the cutscene, as she slid down the wall, just kind of seeing the way she like kind of bent her leg and the jean, I was just like, this is good jean tech.
So, was all the DLC for this free?
I don't know. I've got a bunch of shit. After I beat the second playthrough, I unlocked the fourth survivor.
Yep, that's Hunk.
Like Tofu Hunk?
No, just like Hunk is he's just I think he's an umbrella soldier.
Okay.
That was left behind.
Oh.
And so he had like your goal was to like you start from the bottom of the whole place, so you're like in the basement or whatever.
Oh,
and you have to work your way back up to the entrance of
the police station.
Yeah, or make it to the roof or something. You have to get to the helicopter in a certain amount of time. So you have a certain amount of weapons and everything, and you're just fighting your way. It's just nonstop. It's very difficult.
So not as much puzzle solving.
No, it's just a pseudo. I don't want to call it boss rush, but
that kind of
you're basically speed
run. Yeah, That's cool. Yeah, I was gonna try it last night, but by the time I wrapped up, it was like 2, and I was like, I'm gonna go play Super Hang On instead.
Yeah, I couldn't beat it. I got close, but it was tough.
I mean, I'll give it a shot.
Then there's like the what if scenarios.
Yeah, I saw those. Like, there's the like 3 of them. They're called like the Deaths. I forget the name of it. But yeah, I have those as well. I think that's it.
I haven't tried it yet, but I want to try them. And I think Tofu is a separate.
Is he a purchase, or is it a, hey, you beat all of these other things, so now we give you tofu?
I don't think it's a purchase. I think it's an unlock.
Okay.
Because I think they're trying to stay true to that.
Yeah. I was just...
That might be similar to Force Survivor.
That makes sense.
Like similar style, just, being a tofu, just shanking people.
The thing that was cool is that there were still surprises throughout this game, like versus my first playthrough, because obviously they changed the puzzles, and I kind of knew that going into it. Like the solutions would be different and things like that. But even just like I don't know, there were little like character moments that were slightly different, or you get to see from a different angle, so that was kind of cool.
So you did Claire A, and then you did like the second run option for Leon.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not sure how much things are different when you do like full Leon A and second run Claire B, because that's what I did.
Yeah, I don't know.
And now I'm trying to do the reverse.
The one thing, so I felt like with Claire, her A at least, all the Mr. X stuff was kind of like, I think by the time I had played it too, I think Twitter had just ruined all of that, like, what, you know what I mean? It definitely like lessened my anxiety about Mr. X being in the game. But, there's a part not too far in where Mr. X is basically not a threat anymore with Claire. I don't know if you... No. I'll save it for off air, but there's a point where it's like, all right, and with Leon that never happens, so he's kind of always a looming threat. But
yeah, it's funny because in the original, Leon's side never encountered him.
Oh wow,
that was just a Claire thing.
That's so wild
because you had Cherry and you're just trying to get away and whatever.
Well, so then there's a spot in this where I'm sure you know the room, the interrogation room, and I believe. The core playthrough, you've got a liquor that jumps through the window. With the B playthrough, at least for me, for Leon, I get down there and the window's already shattered. So presumably, Claire's already been through, it's already happened, and whatever.
Yeah, I think whoever you do it with A, it affects B.
So,
and I think some item placement and some puzzles are like half solved or...
Yeah, that happened. Well, I go down to the liquor room, and I know, right? I know walking into this room, like, oh shit, okay, I gotta be ready, whatever. I think it was already kind of like medium health, caution level. And I was like, I don't know. Let me step trepidatiously here. Yeah. I go in and get all the items. I climb over the glass and I'm expecting some shit to happen. Nothing happens. I grab the one that was like a box of ammo or something in that room. Yeah. Like, okay. I go and I leave and I'm coming through. And I'm like, I guess everything's cool. And then right through the fucking wall, Mr. X and I literally screamed like, motherfucker!
I forgot about that.
But like, and I had seen things like that happen to people all year long, but it had never happened to me where he came through a wall like that. Like, for me...
I like that, though, because you're expecting the liquor. The whole setup is a liquor.
Sure, yeah.
And then you just
layer
it. Fucker. I love that. What was I about to say? I'm not sure if this is true either. I like to believe it's true. Whoever you did with A, if you board up any windows, I think they stay boarded up.
Oh, wow.
In second run.
Huh.
I'm probably super wrong about that. But I feel like that's a thing.
I didn't notice... specifically that happened. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't go like, hey, I did that with Claire and now it's boarded up. But I do know that I didn't have as many zombies coming through the windows as my Claire playthrough.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if that's because of my comfortability with the game. You know what I mean? Like, you feel a little bit easier or better about running through there.
This might be an odd question. Does it bother you at all that a lot of the zombies looked the same in today's age of games?
Yeah, there's like 3 of them that I just kept seeing over and over again, and I hadn't really thought about that. Like, I think my first playthrough, I was like, oh, there's that guy again, there's that guy again, there's that girl, and then last night I was like, I think like every second zombie I'd run into in the sewers was just like that dude.
It's just kind of something we're just, I guess, just used to ignoring.
Yeah,
just because whatever. Like, I get it. Like, that's probably really dumb to try to make different models for. I mean, I feel like it's not hard to make different skins at least.
Yeah, it was a
they
little...
can have the same rig or whatever.
Yeah. It seemed odd. I'm curious about how 3 will handle that, but...
I'm sure you're gonna... I would expect it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But yeah, I just that's a good game. I still wanted to finish up Leon, and I had kind of started Leon, got a little bit of the way in, and then just went back to other things before we recorded Game of the Year stuff. And with 3 getting announced this week, I came home that night and I was like, all right, let's get fucking wet in the sewers of shit.
Do you have a favorite part of that game, like section or area?
I don't love the lab. Like I think honestly, in the order of which you go to the things is kind of the order I like things.
Yeah,
I like the lab better than the sewers because I fucking can't stand those big the adult G whatever the fucks.
I just didn't like all the backtracking in the sewer.
Yes, because it's very much like run to this dead end, get this thing, and then come back
to get all the chess pieces for the switches.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
that part I don't give a shit about.
No, it sucks. Yeah, I didn't love that. But just doing the, I think just something about the police department being this like kind of perfect little, right? Like
I love the lore of it, and you get to read the little pamphlets like it used to be a museum.
Right, so it all plays into it. Like there's just a lot of cool stuff in there.
That's like the most realistic way to have like why does the police station have puzzles in it? And it's
right,
like,
yeah.
Well, why does a museum have puzzles in it?
Right.
Well,
but
this seems to make a little more sense.
Yeah. You could play into the fact that the fucking previous owner was some weird eclectic fuck who liked.
But then underneath all of it is Umbrella, so.
Right, was it put there all by them?
I guess they just love being super cryptic.
Yeah. But it was just good, man. The game feels really good to play, and I'm excited to play. I'm excited for 3, but when I had started it last night, it popped up and it was like, hey, there's an update for this. Do you want to do it now? But I was like in the middle of I had suspended the game. I hadn't saved in a little bit, and I was like, I don't want to update it yet. So I beat it and then updated it. And there's now like a Resident Evil 3 option on the main menu, and it just kind of like takes you right to the PlayStation Store to buy it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the
the full game probably has that little trick too.
What trick?
The little Easter egg.
Yeah, I was gonna jump in and do that, but I didn't. Because it's right at the beginning, right?
Yeah, it's like right outside of the entrance to the station. Just head off to the left.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. I don't know. Yeah, that I'm glad to have wrapped that one up. Quick update as well on Magic the Gathering Arena. I'm back. I'm fully in. And when I say fully in, I just mean I'm playing it a lot. I think the last time we checked in with Magic, I don't think the 1.0 update had happened yet. I don't remember.
Maybe.
But since then, the game has just become more and more streamlined. And they've provided all of these different options for gameplay, whether you're playing through ranked or unranked or standard or whatever. Now they started adding in historic decks, so they've got like classic cards, like they've got the Black Lotus, which is one of the most famous rare cards in Magic or whatever. Like
I hear about it a lot.
Yeah, that card comes. Yeah, they've got a lot of that in there now. And they just keep like integrating all these like different weird community modes or like different like types of ways to play Magic, like themes or rule sets. Like they're making like random events out of those things and throwing them in.
Are they temporary or?
Some of them are. Some of them rotate in and out. Some of them are more permanent. Some of them go by the season. So they started doing the season pass a little while ago. I don't know if it was with 1.0 or right before. I think it was with 1.0 actually, back in September. And the way it runs, it's the same old thing. You've got a free tier and a paid tier. But I found that like the free tier even is pretty rewarding. Like within the first few levels, you get a couple booster packs, and you're not getting booster packs in the paid tier. It balances out in the end, right? You get a lot more boosters if you're playing in the bottom, but it was just that part's kind of neat. Like you do feel like a sense of progression, even if I don't love the like traditional battle pass. I think that stuff's tired and uninspired. One But that, and then I think the one thing I kind of praised before was the pre-made decks they give you, where just by doing, in the old version of it before they updated it, just by playing through, you would get 5 decks from the start of each color, one of each color. And then by the end of like doing all of the basic tutorial stuff, you would end up with 10 full decks, because they'd give you the dual color decks all the way around the magic circle. And then you'd be unlocking boosters. Like, you just have so many fucking cards by the end of it. It was cool.
Do you still stick with like whatever your go-to decks are, or have you just kind of went through all of them?
A little bit of both. When the 1.0 update happened, I had that whole mastery tree filled out. Because basically, like, every time you level up or whatever, you'd earn a node, and you could put those nodes into the tree for each red, black, green, blue, whatever. I had that filled out, and it was maybe like, I don't know, 30 nodes or something all the way around the circle. And that all reset. So in order to start those trees again, you do have to play at least one game with each color to start each path. You don't need to, like, you don't have to play red to unlock the red path, but you have to play it once just to start that path.
Got it.
And then as you play, you just unlock these orbs you can throw into the tree and fill out till you're done. What I am doing, though, so there's like daily challenges. So as you play, it's like a thing that says like cast 20 green or white spells. And if you do that, you're getting experience or shit like, or free gold or something like that. So I will, if I have those kind of lingering, I'll be like, oh yeah, let me jump in real quick and do, you know, a couple matches with white. That way I can complete this and get free gold for the day.
Okay.
Because down the line, gold you can use to enter tournaments with, to buy boosters with. You can do all sorts of shit. I mean, if you have enough, you could just buy like a fucking full set of, like a full 50 booster packs. You know what I mean? Like, you could theoretically get there, especially as you earn it with the battle pass and stuff like that too.
Your main was what, green and black?
Black and black.
Oh, black and black.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would jump. I had one deck that I loved called Ghost Pirates that was black and blue.
I love that.
And you know, I'm not good at any of that shit yet, but Ghost Pirates I felt pretty good about, because I had blue is really good with trap cards, and basically stopping your opponent from doing shit, where black is all about killing yourself and bringing yourself back again. Like, it's a lot of those things.
Man, it's like real life.
Exactly, yeah. So with the blue stuff, I would, like, stop someone from attacking me. The black, you'd roll, I don't know, zombie creatures or vampire creatures onto the board and then use things to kill them. But then by killing them, you're boosting yourself in one way. Then you use another card to pull them back out of the graveyard. You just keep doing that and keep building up whatever. Like, you can do some fun shit if you have a hook. And I
forget what the other colors, like, what's the word? What they excel in. Like, what's their style?
Red is just aggressive as fuck. So you just, like, it's like push. Yeah. It's just a lot of, like, heavy hits very fast. Like, if you get a good run with red early on, you can just shut the game down really quickly.
Okay.
White is all about kind of, like, obviously, like, boosting your life, but also it's a lot of, like, and again, like, this is me, like, my basic understanding.
Right.
I'm sure there's way more nuance, and you can probably do a lot of the stuff with any of them. But in my experience with white, it's a lot of, like, how can I not heal, but, like, keep adding +1 to my overall health, but also you're using cards to lift each other up.
It's more like an assist kind of thing.
Yeah, like, I will play black and white sometimes, because a lot of times the white cards will have resurrection things or things like that, or a lot of lifelink spells. And then green is a lot of, like, it's not as aggressive as red, but it's heavy hitters. So you end up with these monsters that are, like, fucking stacked. Like, standard cards you throw down, they only cost you a couple mana to put on the board, and they're, like, 1/1 or 2/3 or shit like that. And green, it's like a couple mana gets you a fucking weird dinosaur that's, like, 6/6 or 12/12 or weird shit like that.
Right.
And then you mix and match, and you can do this stuff like that. But for me, like, I want to get my digital collection to a point where I have enough cards to kind of, like, if I see, you know, because I'll watch people stream this game every now and then, And I haven't really watched. I've watched a little bit of some of the tournaments and stuff, but not enough to like know what's going on.
Right.
But if I see something, I'm like, that's a badass deck. I want to be able to at least get close to like being able to make that with my own library.
Okay.
So my gut reaction, the idiot in me wants to just buy the season pass, even though there's like 20 days left in it. And it's been out for 3 months, and just. Whatever. But honestly, it's like $34, and that would probably be a waste of money. Because
you're paying for the experience.
Well, the thing is, like,
yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to be in for, what I mean? I could fall off this in a week and then blow that. But the cool thing is I'm unlocking that stuff. So if I get to the end of the season, I've got all this shit waiting for me, and it makes sense just to buy it for $30. I might just do that, get a bunch of free unlocks, and then buy the next season, roll right into it. But the biggest surprise for me, one, the decks that they give you now as just here you go feel even more powerful than the decks they gave you in the previous like version of this. Like I forget which deck it is. Oh, the black blue deck they give you now is just ridiculous. Like there's so much to it. It's just wild. I don't think I can articulate it effectively because I don't know enough about it. But I just remember like putting cards down and being like, "Oh, this is a I think it's complicated." That's the idea. It's like there's cards that like they're in the deck for a specific reason. Where before it felt like this kind of clean, neat. Okay, these all work together in one way, but this is like this one card works because you have these 3 other cards, and those 3 other cards support this one card. Like it's just very methodical.
That's very Yu-Gi-Oh!
And deliberate. Yeah. I remember people playing that when I delivered pizzas and just like, no. The other big surprise is that I'm winning a lot, which I didn't expect because I never did before.
Right, but I mean, I guess I could experience time. You know what to do.
Yeah, I do kind of.
Or enough.
And I think what's cool is now when I lose, there's occasionally a thing where you're like, oh, fuck, that person's deck sucks. Like where it's just like
you kind of see like everybody using like the same kind of.
Well, that was the problem with it before. You totally did. Like whatever the meta was, you jump into ranked and you were done.
That's why that's the thing about card games that always bothers me. Like when I was playing Pokemon, it's like, yeah, there's certain cards that I like just because I like them.
Yeah.
And it always comes down to like tier listing, and it's just like fighting games. It's like it doesn't matter who you like. It's this character's able to do this, this. You pull off this combination, you just win. And it's like I don't see the challenge in that.
No, and there's no fun to that, Like that's why I didn't like watching any of the tournament stuff because there's things that are in the meta right now that people started doing, and once they did
whole meta thing, I don't care about it.
No, but that's what I like about this is because of my rank. So you start at bronze tier 4, you work up 4, 3, 2, 1. You go to silver tier 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way up to like mythic or whatever the fuck. By the time you get to mythic, if you do that in a season, you are definitely going to start to run into that meta shit. But for me, hanging out bronze tier 1, about to crack into silver, you really end up getting paired with people that are in your realm. So you and it's not just like literally you're seeing other people who are bronze. You're seeing people who don't know what they're doing because you don't know what you're doing. So it's been very just refreshing. Because again, 6 months ago, I loved this game. But once things started to kick a certain way, the matchmaking just like shit all over me. Because I didn't have those cards. Right?
You reminded me of Halo 3 for some reason. So you just said that.
It's got that thing, right? Like where you're getting thrown into the wrong thing. But now everything works in the player's favor. Like I just feel so much more in control this time around.
Okay.
And I feel a sense of confidence I definitely didn't have before. Which you're right, comes with experience. But I think they did a lot better job at matchmaking. So I'm able to feel like I can jump in and I understand what's happening. I understand why I'm winning. And more importantly, I understand why I'm losing.
Yeah.
There's definitely moments there's a couple games I played last night where I lost. And right when I did this one move, I was like, oh, I fucked it up. You know what I mean? Like just one dumb thing. But it's just cool. I had one game where, I'll close on this one, but I had one game where basically the cards I had, it was only 3 or 4 cards. One of them had lifelink, which means when you land an attack, you get 1 point of health back to your main pool of health. not to that card, but to you, the player.
Okay.
So I had a card with lifelink. I had another one I put down that whenever you heal any amount of damage, it does +1/+1 to this card. So if that card starts as a 2/2, it's +1. It would be 3/3 instead of 3 attack, 3 damage.
Right.
Because I just healed myself. I then had one that was as long as your health is 25 or more, the player health is 25 or more, this character gets +2/+2. So I kind of had all of these characters slowly getting stronger because I was just chipping away. Like and the opponent like didn't have any good cards to attack with, which was like in my favor because anytime they'd throw something down, they couldn't block me because they would just end up burning that card. So what I would do is attack. They either would block and die or, lose that card, or they wouldn't block at all, and I would just hit them and knock their health down. And if they would attack me, I would take it because it didn't fucking matter. I was just racking. And I got to a point where I had like 48 health, and I was just
tanking.
Like, fucking killing. And I felt great, but they didn't give up. They were down to like 3. And then they throw it on a card. They throw it on a card. All this shit just happened, and like I felt so good. And they just wiped the whole board.
Was this your black and blue deck? No, you just said
black.
Just black.
Just black, yeah. But yeah, they just fucking ate me.
Damn.
But it was cool. Like it's just that's what I love about the game is like I think before too I had this approach where every game felt permanent to me, and it's not that at all. Like going into it as like, all right, I'm gonna spend 10 minutes and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like because it's literally the luck of the draw.
You should stream this.
Yeah,
because I can't even visualize what it looks like. I don't know if I've watched this game.
Oh yeah,
before, but yeah, no, I think that'd be something.
I could try that.
Pretty entertaining.
I could try that. I haven't streamed in a while outside of session.
Magic Mondays,
There you go. Oh yeah, look at that. I did play some more Demon's Tilt, but I don't have a ton more to say over last week. I really liked that game a lot. That is a good pinball game and a good video game.
That's right, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. So I played some on PC, played some on Xbox. And then one I did not play, and I feel bad that I didn't jump into it yet. I just did not run out of time. Shovel Knight King of Cards came out this week, and our friends at Yacht Club Games were nice enough to give us some review copies. I didn't jump into it yet, though. But that is one I'm definitely starting this week.
Yeah. I haven't jumped into that either. But I started replaying the first one, or I guess now dubbed Shovel of Hope.
Shovel of Hope, yeah.
Just kind of getting through it pretty quick because I know what to do.
Yeah.
Just reacclimating myself.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's really nice. I don't know how many copies of that game I own.
Oh, yeah, I have it.
I think. I don't know if I have it on Steam.
I do from a review way back when.
I can't remember, but I think that's the only platform I don't have it on.
Yeah, I think that might. I don't think I
have it on Xbox, but I haven't played it because I was like thinking about streaming the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Because Battletoads.
Yeah.
And I think the PlayStation 1. Do I have that? I feel like I did get it because of the whole Kratos thing.
Yeah. We might have gotten it from review copies because every time a new thing comes out, they email us and ask us if we want codes. So it might have been that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, big shout out to Yacht Club. Congrats and thanks.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that is huge. Like
I've been watching I've been watching some gameplay on King of Cards. I love how it's kind of Wario-esque.
Yeah.
Because he has like that shoulder bash.
Yeah.
And he just kind of did it with like the little twirls and.
Yeah, no, he's good. I had a build of it they sent out like a year ago or something, and I got he felt really cool.
And then Showdown came out.
Yeah, which I'm
as well.
Yeah, Smash Brothers style.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
Yeah.
That could be a little.
I wonder
thing.
how it feels. Very curious.
From what I've seen, if you're used to playing his games, you'll fit right in.
I mean, I imagine like Yacht Club is a super talented team, so I would expect it to be well done. Well, besides dipping into a little bit of Shovel of Hope, did you play anything else this week?
A little bit of like two things. Like you playing Resident Evil got me kind of jumping into that, but I didn't really do much. I was just kind of trying to relearn the controls because I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing the Claire A, and then probably do the second run with Leon afterwards. I was doing like their low poly PS1 outfits, but then it started like throwing me off because nothing else was that. So having characters that aren't low poly interacting with characters that are low poly just felt disorienting. So
because they only do it for the main ones you're playing.
They don't do it for Leon and Claire.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I changed them to they still have their PS1 costumes. They're just now up to date.
Yeah.
So I like that. But that, having said that, these two games that I've been playing, so I got on Switch, Death Road to Canada.
Oh, yeah. That was a Mark game.
I think this is a neat little co-op game.
Yeah.
If the opportunity arises for it. But playing by myself, like, you're able to, like, there's so many game modes that you can unlock or whatever, but I'm just doing just the standard. And I haven't played this since, like, it first came out, I think.
Yeah.
Or it was, like, early access when I first played it. And I forgot how many days in the game time you have to get to, because you're driving from Florida to Canada. And I think I had 3 days before reaching Canada. I was doing so good. But I tried making of me, you, and Matt. But you can only have one person with you when you first start. So you couldn't be all three at once.
Yeah.
So I had me and you, but then you died immediately because I forgot. Like, I just sucked at everything. I was like, no! I couldn't get to you, and just it's so random with, like, because as you're driving, it'll let you know if you're reaching a destination. It'll give you the quote climate of what the zombies are. If it's like a small group, if it's a big group, how aggressive they are, all this stuff. And it was just like immediately aggressive and like difficult going into like a abandoned. Because I figured if I was role playing,
sure,
we decided to go to a Y'all Mart because I figured that's where you would want to go.
You know, when I go to a new town, I gotta see what's inside that place.
So we went to a Y'all Mart in Miami, and that was your fate.
Oh man!
And I barely made it. And I started understanding the game a little more. Started understanding that like you really have to what's the word? You have to pace yourself with your combat because you can exert yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see, like your character's face starts flashing red, and then eventually a little sweat drop comes out of him, saying like you gotta give time for him to you have to cool down. And so trying to organize that, you have 3 weapons to switch between. Some of them can break. Like if you just have like planks of wood or whatever, they can break really easily.
You can't. Can you combine any of them, or are they just kind of single?
I think they're all. I'm not sure if there's crafting. And you can collect a lot of items and just have it in like in your inventory. But you can always choose to bring 3 with you. But in my game, it was always you just had 3, and then you would lose one and pick up another. You can pick up more people along the way to have a party of 4.
Yeah.
And if you had any more, you would have to choose to kick somebody out. And that happened like way later in the game because out of nowhere, like Matt showed up as like a hitchhiker. And so I just immediately dropped somebody in my team I had forever. I was like, yeah, man, this guy was cool. And, he helped out. The guy I picked up was good at like patching people up or whatever. And I was like, oh, look, it's Matt. And yeah, see you, Julian. Whoever, like, it was just, yeah. I think that was the name they gave him. And just so immediately had Matt. And, yeah, I think that lasted up until
the final,
like till as far as I got, and then we all died.
So what's the normal game length for this? Like you sit down.
Oh, I think I was doing laundry while playing this.
Yeah,
and I got more caught up in playing the game than finishing the laundry.
All right,
and I think I was playing for about 2 to 3 hours.
Okay, yeah.
Which I didn't realize that much time went by.
Yeah,
because like as long as you have a vehicle, these things just automatically happen, and depending, because you can pick kind of a class, not really a class, but like you have like a character trait and like a certain like perk.
Sure.
And you can kind of combine that where it's like, oh, like you could be this warrior where like you have +2 or +3 in strength and health, but you have a bad attitude. and that bad attitude affects your morale, and that might
Does that affect the other people?
I guess that's more to think about with AI, because I don't know if they might do anything different.
Okay.
From what I've seen, nothing really changes when you're in a bad mood. I don't know if that affects like your energy, or if maybe you're more exerted quickly. I know with my character, you have an option to. I had an option to like betray my group a couple times, because you reach certain little like not really like story points, but just like little sections of like, oh hey, here's you're coming across a group of bandits and they're threatening to take all your weapons. You have options to either give them all, fight them, or like make a compromise if you have somebody who's good at talking to people, or you can like depending on your characters is what options you have to react in the situation. So I guess that kind of plays a part in it. But if you fight through, you're gonna take damage. You're gonna lose some health, but you might be able to keep all your stuff. There's always a trade-off.
Yeah.
This whole game is always about trading off, and it's pretty cool. It can get wacky. Like you can have weird-ass costumes and weird characters and whatever. Like you could have like a pug with a machine gun if you wanted.
I do.
Just going around.
I do.
You could have 3 of them probably.
Perfect.
But I haven't reached any of that stuff, so I guess it's where like the roguelite type of thing comes in.
Yeah.
Because you get ZP, which is zombie points, and you can get those to upgrade your certain classes or perks or whatever. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
But it's like, I didn't have a lot, and it's like I think they just really want you to play this game a lot. And I guess they expect you to fail.
Sure.
Very quickly.
I mean,
I didn't fail quickly, so it's like, you really want me to keep playing for like 3-hour sessions? Just I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say it's 3-hour session every time. I can't. Because you never because like it could be hard the entire way.
Right.
If you're that's the other thing, between sections of like checking out like places for scavenging for food, gas, ammunition. This is what you're always doing, and then you might be able to find people along the way or not. Your car can take damage, so you have to worry about that. Your car can run out of gas, obviously. And sometimes that makes you running on foot, and then you might run into like a little like tunnel where there's a bunch of broke down cars. You have to siphon those cars for gas while zombies are coming at you. You might find another car to take. It could be a police car or whatever. It's very like Oregon Trail today.
Can you repair your car?
You kind of. Yeah, you can. You can sometimes stop by a place where it might be like a junk shop or like an automobile place,
so like a gunman taco truck.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's just not all. You never know what to expect. It's random, so it's never like a set thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. It gets really involved and complex if you let it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it can be a very simple game. It can be a very deep game, depending on how you go about it. But I appreciate the game a little more now this time around.
Yeah, you've intrigued me.
Like the customization is a very nice touch to that.
Yeah, I don't know why because I remember years ago when you brought that up, I thought about it, and then I just never it never sounded like something I'd be into. But now hearing it, maybe you just never said roguelite before, and now that you did, I'm like, oh,
whoops. Yeah, it's a weird start, but I think once you get past like just let the 5 minutes just let that sink in.
Yeah,
and you're like, all right, I get this game, I get it.
All right,
good stuff. I think it's like $15.
Yeah, I just checked.
On everything.
15 on Switch. Yeah.
And then this one I didn't play too much of. I think Death Road I did more than anything.
Yeah.
The Backrooms Simulator.
The Backrooms Simulator.
Yeah. So my history with this is weird. So just bear with me.
All right.
Bear with me. So I follow a lot of indie like horror developers on Twitter because I just like everything they produce and put out there, and it's awesome. So one in particular I remember seeing of Puppet Combo, and I was seeing clips of, I guess it was from a game jam, if I remember correctly. And just had like these old school Resident Evil fixed camera angles of a dude just walking in these endless rooms. They're empty. It's just like imagine like a building that used to be like kind of like a weird, like thrift store or flea market, but there's nothing in there anymore. It's just a bunch of walls and lights. But like that
like
pale,
old...
like the pale yellow walls and like a brown carpet.
Yeah,
it's very just
like when they shut down all the Woolworths in 1996.
Yeah, it's like a weird, like clothing store or something,
yeah.
and it's just empty, and you're just endlessly walking through that, and it was just like okay, and like,
endlessly. It's like that big.
Yeah, like there's no real end to it, I guess. That's the vibe I was getting from it. And I was like, this is weird. I kind of like this because, again, empty rooms for some reason. I really... it was speaking to me. And the only noise you would hear is the buzzing coming from the fluorescent lights in the ceiling.
Okay.
That's the only noise.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. I'm into this for some reason. I mean, I didn't expect it to be like a full game. But like I never acted on buying it or playing it. I just saw that clip and just kind of kept it in the back of my head. Appropriately so. And here I am now. I'm on Steam. I'm starting to like... Puppetcoma doesn't have, I think, a lot on Steam. It's like solely trying to make it onto there. So a lot of it's on itch.
Yeah.
And I have pretty much all of their stuff on there. But I was trying to find that, and I thought I found it. And then I realized what I found wasn't from that at all. It was from a different developer, Pixel Plant. And I never heard of them before. Never seen, like... I was trying to find gameplay for it. I was trying to... nothing. Just the trailers that they've produced. And then I watched other trailers, not realizing these were... There's a lot of this game. I didn't realize it was a creepypasta thing.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody just has their versions of it. There's so many versions of this game for some reason on Steam. I had no idea. So the one I wanted to play wasn't even the one I was playing.
Yeah.
But I still ended up liking it. Because now this one is all, like, first person, but, like, the way you walk, it, like, every step you take, the camera tilts. So it's like you're wobbling. And it's weird. It's kind of off-putting at first, but I kind of got used to it. And all you can do is run. You just hold shift to run. So it's just, those footsteps just get a little faster. And
is there anything hidden in this? Or,
I think with this one in particular...
Yeah.
My guess is that the longer you go, the more eerie things get.
Did you start to see any of that, or for you was it just walking through rooms?
Very lightly. It took like 8 minutes to trigger something.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of walking around, and I was playing this at like the end of my day at work because I had a computer right there. I was like, let me fuck around with this real quick. Yeah. So I had headphones on, and just doing this, and then like within 8 minutes, like the screen goes black and white for a second. Everything just goes like grayscale. I was like, oh, that was
like
weird.
A flash, like literally like boom boom, or
it's not like a quick flash. It like faded out.
Interesting.
I was like, oh, okay, and I just kept going, and then I heard like a weird exhale of breath, like in the distance, just kind of like go by me, just like a
ew, weird.
I was like,
all right, yeah, that could.
And so, something. Like, I took off my headphones. I just like,
I'm done. Going home.
I'll play this later.
Yeah,
not right now.
It's VR supported too.
Yeah. Huh. So I'm glad I got that one. I guess because I don't like. I was trying my gameplay. I was like, I kind of want to spoil myself just to see how weird this game would get. Because other games that other people have made, it looks like there are weird. Like there's one where you have to check your watch to make sure you're not going insane.
Yeah. And
the creatures pop up or whatever. I think this involves with the. I think it's SCP side of so that's a whole world online.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like the Pokemon of horror basically.
Yeah, it's like but they're not. It's fuck.
They're like different weird paranormal.
It's like all the shit that you found in Control, right? Like all those
kind of.
Yeah, it's like it's like a Wikipedia of that stuff.
Yeah. So I think this is involved in that universe.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's built upon that.
Yes, so not necessarily horror, but definitely.
Oh, I would say horror.
Like
I feel like all of that is.
I feel like that stuff like dances around the edges of it, but it's not necessarily like.
Yeah. I think it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
So some of it can be silly, some of it can be
like,
light.
Some
of
like
it could be just like
sci-fi weird stuff.
Yeah, so it's like the internet's version of X-Files.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly That's exactly how I've heard it.
It could be something as silly as like a possessed shoe or something to like here's this giant deformed baby doll without a face, and if you blink, it will move towards you.
Yes.
So
There you go.
So I didn't realize this was a part of all that. So I don't know what the simulator game entails as far as including that type of element, but I can see this getting really weird, especially if you're adding VR to it. I don't know, or it's just doing a good job of psyching me out, getting in my own head, because I'm really good at that.
Which that's cool too, though, right?
Yeah.
Like if it can do that successfully.
Like if somehow, because like the way you walk is also weird.
Yeah.
Just hearing their footsteps and just hearing that pick up or slow down, and it's just like you're expecting something because it's so quiet. You just hear that buzzing. You're expecting something to just like pop around a corner, and it just never does. It's like
it's unsettling.
It is. It's very unsettling.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really messes with me, and I like it for the 8 minutes that I've played of it. I want to play more of that, and that's pretty much it.
Not a bad week in video games. All said. Well, you heard us talk about Resident Evil 2, Magic the Gathering, Death Road to Canada, Demon's Tilt, and the Backrooms Simulator. Now you're going to hear a little bit of a song as we step into a little break, and we'll come back with some news from the week and one more little topic to close us out. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the half of the show where we talk about all of the news, starting with 2K. Take-Two Interactive announced a newly formed studio, Cloud Chamber, who has been working on and will continue to work on the next iteration of the BioShock franchise. Yeah. I'd seen some folks from the studio on Twitter kind of just saying like, oh, cool, they announced that what my job has been for the last few years. So I can say that I'm working on this BioShock game. No details on what that is, but I believe it was said this game will be 2021.
No,
I don't know if there was a hard date on it or not. I don't want to misspeak here.
sometime in the near future.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 iterations of this team, Cloud Chamber. It'll be San Francisco in the Bay Area and Montreal in Quebec. Cloud Chamber is working on the next iteration of the globally acclaimed BioShock franchise, which will be in development for the next several years. There it is. So there you have it. Mark, our next topic of the week spins directly out of this here news story. How in the heck do you make another BioShock?
That's a good question.
Where do you go from there?
Because I'm not too educated in the universe of BioShock. I don't know if there's a constant throughout all those games, if they're like lore wise, or why it's even called BioShock. Why
there wasn't until there was.
Okay.
BioShock Infinite. I'm going to tread lightly here because one, you're sitting next to me and you don't know that part, which means
I mean I
know, but I'm not gonna.
I've definitely spoiled myself.
Yeah.
With these games,
but I bet you that there's some people out there who haven't, and I will tell you, as someone who was very excited to play BioShock 1 and very excited to get into it, and very excitedly said, "Oh, I just got BioShock for Christmas." And someone said, "Have you played it before?" And I said, "No." And they said, "So you don't know about the ending?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Oh, it's crazy." And then told me the ending.
Why?
I don't fucking know, man.
Okay.
So I don't want to be that guy. However, you could pick up where Infinite left off, because Infinite, let's just say, is called Infinite for a reason.
Right.
Where there are possibilities out there.
Yeah.
You could dive, and you could either acknowledge that and be like, well, yes. Or you could not do that.
Infinite looked like it didn't tap into the eeriness that 1 had. Is that true? Or
yeah, it was, in the sky,
Yeah.
Everything was bright. It didn't have the horror side of it.
I don't like steampunk.
No, me neither.
That's a style I do not care for.
Yeah, jumping back to our beginning conversation, don't need any more steampunk. We're good without steampunk.
Like,
let's let that die.
As far as I'll go with it, I'll accept it in like Final Fantasy or something. I think they do a different
Because they do
way
elements
about
of it, yeah. And then
but like, I don't
on.
need a top hat monocle bullshit.
No, I hate all that. It's so bad.
I don't know. Just a lot of brown. A lot of brown and brass.
Yeah, I don't, and like brown doesn't look good on me. You know what I mean? So
I mean, it's fine, but like switch it up. I don't know.
nah.
Flying ships, I'm always going to be okay with.
Yeah,
That's one thing.
Otherwise, it ain't my aesthetic.
Yeah, so like Infinite never really reeled me in. The first BioShock has a cool setting. I like the whole underwater city thing.
Yeah, and it was creepy as fuck. Like the whole idea of the splicers being fucked up mutations, and they have to wear these. Well, then they don't have to wear the masks, but they're wearing the masks because they all got fucked on New Year's. Like, that was a cool setting, cool story, cool premise.
I didn't get too far in that one. Oh man, I mean, like I know everything, but I stopped at like one of the first boss fights.
Yeah,
it's like the TV screens or whatever.
Right. Yeah, because they had those, but they also like completely supplanted the idea of a boss fight by putting the Big Daddy right next. Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
So
and I heard second one didn't get so great reception.
The thing about the second one was
it was just like unnecessary or something.
But I loved it, right? And I feel like I removed myself from that part that was like, well, it wasn't made by Irrational, and I enjoyed that game. I think a lot of times when I heard people say it wasn't good, it was either followed by or preceded by Irrational didn't make this one. And I felt like, and I don't want to be weird here, but I think also that was an era, that game came out around the time that video game podcasts got a little bit more popular, a little bit more widespread.
It was a weird era of gaming where everything felt kind of samey to me from a distance.
I think that happened,
like,
but I think
AAA wise,
you had people who were listening to other people's opinions a bit more, like that burgeoning thing of like the fucking streamer, YouTuber
taking reviews as like a prophecy or whatever. Like
yes, and not that people have always done that on the internet, but I felt like it became people stopped thinking for themselves around that time.
Yeah.
And just regurgitated whatever they read or heard or whatever. So I feel like that, not unlike, you know, the distaste for something like a Batman vs Superman movie several years later, was really more echoing what other people were saying so that you don't feel left out versus I don't know. I like that game is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I played it. I didn't think it was bad. Was it, you know, another one of those? Yes. But I thought I had cool powers that time around. You get to go a little bit deeper into like the creation of Rapture and how it happened, like the origin of the little sisters and things like that.
Okay.
I thought that stuff was cool.
Yeah.
I got the platinum in that one, which I don't recommend because you had to reach level 40 in multiplayer.
Oh, there's a multiplayer.
Oh yeah. The multiplayer was kind of cool. It was like right on your like red faction, but you got to use fucking splicer powers.
Weird.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. But
okay,
grinding to level 40, wouldn't recommend that at all. It took me like a month,
especially in that time. Yeah, where grinding was, you know,
I did it over. I don't know
heavier?
if it was summer or what it was, but I just sat down. I had like little goals, like okay, I'm gonna do 5 more and then take a break, and I would just go eat or whatever.
Yeah, I guess that was that era where a lot of games just had a multiplayer.
Yeah, it's totally that. Which is not a great trend.
You know, like Uncharted, Last of Us.
Yeah,
just a lot of single player games just having a multiplayer,
just shooting,
which is like fine, but like it would just seem like a thing to have now, and now it's like now you have to have a battle pass or. Right, yeah. But it's just a new thing.
I'd rather just go back to the multiplayer modes. At least those were a little inventive with how they did it.
A lot of people probably agree still.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess for the topic.
I mean, like, do you do the fucking powers again? Do you?
I don't see why. You didn't have that in Infinite.
Oh God, I don't even remember now. How do I not remember that game? I feel like you did.
All I can picture is just the dude with a Tommy gun.
Yeah. No, I mean you definitely had
and like a hook that slide down.
Yeah, you had the hook in the one hand,
cables.
But no, you had powers. They were just different.
I mean, I would say to some degree have powers of some kind. I think that would make it 10 times more interesting. If it's just a shooter, nah.
Yeah, but is that so is the next
or maybe somehow involve the supernatural abilities into the weapons. So it's not really you; it's the weapons that have.
I think that's more of an Infinite.
Like,
now I can't remember, but Infinite.
Stranger's Wrath.
definitely-
You're shooting bees at people now. Like,
Right.
Like machine gun styles.
Yes. But that's my other question. Is this still a first-person shooter? Or do you go, like...
Good question.
Because there was if you recall, a planned game on the PlayStation Vita that Ken Levine announced, and then it never happened. But I believe that was meant to be more like a strategy type thing. Like, could you imagine like a top-down?
I think I would keep it first person.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm thinking like Portal 2 here.
Okay.
So you're not just in the labs, you're in like so many areas, kind of similar to Half-Life,
Yeah.
but just not as long-winded, I guess, with traveling. But like so I guess whatever, if we're continuing after Infinite, I guess that's what I like to go with here. If there's some weird way to like have a quick travel to things, if there's like weird portals or something, I don't know what's involved, but like if there's some way of doing that, I think that'd be a good way to explore different biodomes, so to speak.
Yeah. So you're saying open it up a little bit more, so it's not just underground or underwater, not just in the sky, but it's
just all
here or there.
just all sorts of areas that somehow make sense in that world.
Yeah, I can see that.
You could have maybe like, I mean, it doesn't have to be like Minecraft style. It doesn't have to be a desert, jungle, swamp.
Yeah, no.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But as long as it makes sense, it could be like, I don't know, like an actual city above water, and then you can go into water for a little bit, but like maybe it's at a certain point in time. Like, I don't know. I think going through different eras could be a neat thing.
Yeah,
Future, past, whatever.
It seems like a fun problem to solve.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool. That'll be out likely on the next generation of consoles as they roll out. What do you think a BioShock game could be? What would you do with BioShock? Write in podcast@thefreecheese.com. Oh. Earl jumped up. He's ready to scream. We got a little scream. A little baby scream. Speaking of screams, Major League Baseball has announced, along with Sony Interactive Entertainment, that its partnership has been extended. And specifically, it's weird. Like, if you read this press release, it's very much like, cool. Baseball and Sony are still going to make that game. You know what I mean? Like, it's not immediately apparent the repercussions of this until you read a little bit deeper. As early as 2021, additional console platforms beyond PlayStation platforms are going to receive the MLB The Show franchise. Developed by Sony first-party studio Sony San Diego. That game will then stretch out a little bit further. You had Nintendo quote the tweet with a little baseball. You had Xbox quote it with, quote, no more away games. So it seems like people are pretty excited about that.
I mean, yeah, I think I've seen a bit of both sides to that.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, why? I'm like, all right, come on.
But, that's the... That franchise has been locked up behind PlayStation for a while because,
Yeah.
But it's been the de facto exclusive, and now no longer. Which is just
Sounds
another...
like the way to go.
Yeah, but it's also like another thing where it's like, what world do we live in anymore? You know, you got... Everything's everywhere. And
Halo on Steam. You got...
Yeah, Halo, not only on Steam, but at the top of the fucking sales charts. It's still #1 bestseller right now. Speaking of cross-play or cross-platform, Mortal Kombat 11 rolling out a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One only cross-play mode. Currently in, I don't know if they're specifically calling it beta, but currently testing it. Testing out the feature that will put PlayStation 4 and Xbox One players into the same matchmaking pool for online casual game modes. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One players will also have the option of manually joining the same designated cross-play online rooms to play against each other. Exact timing has not been confirmed, but as long as you have it toggled on, you will matchmake across both platforms. Progress is still platform exclusive. can't transfer unlocks or any of those things. But in the online menu in-game, you highlight casual modes. At the top right of the screen, there will be an option to toggle crossplay on or off.
Cool.
There you go. That seems good. That seems like something we need.
Yeah, it's a long time coming, I feel.
Yeah, that was one. It was funny. Someone posted a screenshot of their patch notes that popped up when they installed an update to Mortal Kombat, and it was like gameplay bug fixes, general blah blah blah, added crossplay. I was like, wait, what? You did what? That was pretty neat. Hold on that. Well, we're gonna save State of Play for the end there, and talk about that one. Bethesda. This is fucking cool. So Bethesda brought Doom 1, 2, and 3 back out to more platforms earlier this year, right after or during QuakeCon. And now it has been announced that Doom 1 and 2 on console are adding Final Doom and Sigil for free, which is cool as shit.
Yeah, I didn't expect Sigil to...
No. So Sigil, if you're unfamiliar, is John Romero's unofficial 5th Doom episode. I played through a bit of that earlier this year. I forget when, but it's a hard fucking game. But fucking cool and weird. But yeah, I mean, last year for the 25th anniversary, John Romero announced that he'd be doing Sigil, which is just fucking cool that exists in this year. And it's cool still that Bethesda's like, hey, let's put it in.
Yeah. It still makes me think about Doom 64.
Yeah, I know. I kind of wanted to play that this year.
Yeah.
It sucks that I got fucking delayed.
No, but I've never played what's Final Doom?
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
I believe that is like the
Like the be all end all definitive version of
yes,
Doom and Doom 2? Or is it just Doom?
I think Final Doom, maybe not. I thought that was like the whatevs, but that actually might be one of the WADs put out. Final Doom. Maybe it's Doom 2 stuff in Doom 1. That might be what it is.
So it's kind of just like an update.
I think so. They put weapons and stuff in.
Yeah. That's cool.
No, okay. So it's a whole separate thing. Sorry. So think of it like how Sigil is, right? It's like an unofficial episode. Final Doom, it's basically built on Doom, but developed by another team, not id.
So that's just a separate game.
Totally separate.
Where does that take place? Like after 2 or?
This is split. Well, I'd never realized it's about Final Doom. Because
it makes me think. Because I thought 64 was a sequel to 2.
You got me.
I don't know.
Yeah. Timeline wise, I'm not sure. This is there's 2 separate stories built into this. There's a lot of other levels in it. Yeah, it's it's basically a different Doom. Because remember, id would put out all the source code and let you do whatever the fuck. They put the engine out there. So some dudes making levels and stuff for Doom 1 were like, what if we just made a whole game? And then they did. And then id put it out for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that'll be added to... You can play that for free if you've already owned whatever. And if you don't, it'll be in there all as one package.
Nice.
A couple more news stories this week. Sonic movie redesign visual effects studio has shut down after working reportedly extreme hours on the project, which is just...
That is
fucked.
The ultimate shit.
Yeah.
So now just Paramount gets all that money?
Yeah.
That's so like, why? That's like,
but they've been working on different things. Here's a quote from someone who says they're an employee of the studio. Speaking on Reddit, quote, "We've all put in extreme hours wrapping 2 infamous projects in the last couple months. We've done multiple weeks without a day off, regular 17-plus hour shifts to the point that most of us are seriously sleep deprived and are suffering. Still, we've worked really fucking hard to get this out the door for MPC." I believe MPC is the name of the
I think it's Moving Picture Company.
Yes, Moving Picture Company. For MPC, and I'm genuinely ashamed that they are happier prioritizing their profit margins and tax incentives over insane talent and commitment of hundreds of dedicated visual effects artists in Vancouver. I honestly feel insulted, like I've given MPC my all, and in return, they gave me the finger. Another one said that, the same one says, "Apologies. To clarify, I didn't mean everyone was doing 17-plus hour days for every day for weeks straight, but that we were working with no days off for weeks straight with plenty of 17-plus shifts thrown in the mix. Sometimes 3 or 4 in a row, though. Very rarely were people doing less than 10 hours a day. If you wanted to leave after your 8 hours, you had to ask permission to go home. Didn't want to work overtime at the weekend, you had to give a satisfactory reason as to why you couldn't, or they'd label it an unauthorized absence."
What?
"I can't speak for everyone, but I obliged with requests because I felt if I didn't, I'd be quickly replaced by someone who was willing to do the hours, be that for the experience or IMDb credit or whatever. That happened to 2 or 3 people while I was there." I mean, I heard things like that coming out of Epic about last summer or so, or earlier this year, just that people were afraid to go on vacations because suddenly they'd come back from vacation and, hey, your department actually is this department now and we don't need you. Coincidentally. This just sucks, dude.
So now they're not going to see a single cent from if anyone goes to see Sonic.
No. I mean, they got their overtime paychecks, obviously, right? Or probably not even, right? Because I wonder if they're salary. I don't know how that works, but that's just...
Like, animators get fucked, man, and it's... that shit needs to change. Like, so the same people that, build... I'm wondering if enough outcry would change that. Change Sonic's design. Now it's like, why would you get rid of the people that made this possible?
Yeah, I think we had feared that this was going to happen.
I mean, good luck getting a sequel.
And then the delay happened, and it was like, okay, maybe they delayed it so these people don't have to work such crazy fucking hours. And the fact they still did, and then they get shut down.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a result of that, but I saw on Twitter, a new, little ad spot for the Sonic movie, and they showed some new scenes. And Sonic's render doesn't look finished.
Yeah, I got that from the trailer, yeah.
Well, but these look even more, it's more obvious. Like, the lighting looks a little off. And it's just I wonder if they were still, finishing this stuff up. And then it's just no, bye, we're just going to release this how it is because everybody now loves design. We don't need you anymore. It's it's such a fucking, that's the trade-off? That sucks.
Yeah, that's not good.
So now what? Should just nobody see this now? Is that I don't know how to react.
Yeah, that's a tough one to. Any of this shit, whenever greed takes precedent. I don't know, man.
I hope things change for the better.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope that somewhere the stories like this that suck do lead to a better future, but it's hard to...
they had their hands dipped in, Lion King and Detective
Pikachu? I didn't know Detective. I knew that Lion King was another one they had worked on. It's... all right. Not to just shift gears here and do happier stories, but let's do some happier stories. Game Awards or State of... Let's save State of Play for the end. Game Awards happened.
Yeah. It was alright.
Not a ton. I mean, we were kind of talking... You and I watched it together, and we were kind of talking beforehand that I wasn't super anticipating anything crazy.
No, after, approaching the day as we're getting closer, I started lowering my expectations.
Yeah, I mean,
For the best.
Honestly, yeah, I think our lowered hype levels worked out because, I mean, honestly, I did not expect an Xbox Series X confirmation at all.
No one.
In fact, like, you and I were watching it and we were like, is this a Sonic game?
I was just thinking so many things.
There's golden rings and
like,
what's happening, and then
because I was like, if that was Sonic Adventure 3, like, what the fuck? Like, that's the most ambitious thing I've ever seen.
That would have been in fucking insane.
Then I started thinking it was like Elden Ring for a second. I didn't know.
Well, then I started thinking maybe it was Everything, the game by David O'Reilly, which apparently he thought the same thing too, because it's been ongoing on Twitter. Which, a little weird.
Had that speech. Was that Alan Watts?
Yeah, like it had the Alan Watts VO. It had like
this world forming.
Yeah, it's very much like tapping into that, and I get it. Like, I don't know. It was very odd.
Mm-hmm.
Not the only bit of weird, loose plagiarism. I don't want to call it plagiarism, like straight up, but the one that was kind of. Did you see the No More Heroes thing? Small animation studio. Their logo, the way that they're like, the studio title or whatever animates in their whatevers. Yeah. The little like way that like the white light wraps around and whatever, frame by frame, copied at the end of the No More Heroes thing.
What is it basing off of? Because I know there was like some weird celebration for PlayStation. They had like a like
there was animatic. That too. Yeah,
that ripped off so many things.
Yeah. This one I'm not sure. I'll have to find it real quick.
I feel like I wonder if a lot of stuff like this is caused by crunch.
Yeah.
Or we just need this animation shit. I don't care how you do it. Just get it done. It's like,
yes.
Like, you kidding me? Like you're playing my hand like this and. It's so strange. Animation's a weird field that I feel doesn't really get the good end of the stick often.
Yeah. Studio Plumeau Indent.
Yeah, I don't. I'll have to see the video or whatever they do. There's like a comparison, like side by side or.
There is, and I can't find the tweet now. Let me see.
I mean, it's one thing if it was like the same animators using the same thing or like recycling it, because that happens sometimes. I mean, Disney's notorious for that back then. But no, it's just another group just kind of ripping off. That's
okay.
Weird.
I found it. So.
But I also love that people can point this out like immediately.
Yeah. All right. Found it. There's an update too. Kind of a happy story, sort of in a way. So Studio Plumeau had tweeted, and the tweet's now deleted, but the tweet said, biggest surprise of the Game Awards was seeing No More Heroes. I'm paraphrasing here, but No More Heroes rip off my logo animation. And when you saw it side by side, it was very much like, ooh. Now, here we are. Update on the whole No More Heroes 3 FX animation debacle. We have received word from the person in charge of the FX animation in the trailer. The animation was indeed purchased on Envato. So Envato is like a digital marketplace where you can buy different, WordPress themes. Right. You can animations, all sorts of shit. The user was selling lots of different assets made by many other FX artists as well. The user responsible was they go into some details, but basically they're working with Envato Help to look into it and try to figure that out.
So this was a license that they bought to use that animation?
The No More Heroes studio bought that license to use that animation.
Yeah. But the person who uploaded that animation was actually somebody.
They had frame by frame copied it from this random animation studio.
So
yeah. So they copied it, stole it, and then were selling it. And then, as you know,
and then the person who was selling it was the one complaining that it got ripped, or the person at the butt of all this.
Yeah, someone selling it ripped it off from them. They're the ones who noticed it and said, "Hey, that's my animation."
Okay.
Thought that No More Heroes had copied from them, but No More Heroes actually purchased that animation so they could use it.
That opened a new door to plot thickens.
Fucking man. Anyway, well, I'm glad that has a happy ending. 'Cause going into this news story, I was like, here we go again, another fucked up animation story. And then in the wake of the Sony Japan thing too, I had seen. But yeah, I think the biggest news of this show, there was some other games talked about. There was that PS2, the Fast and Furious game coming out for PS2. But we had Xbox Game Studios unveiling Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. And of course we saw, we got a name. We got our first look at the console and controller for the Xbox Series X, which tells me, Mark, that the new console is just called the fucking Xbox. Because...
yeah, I mean, I feel like
they call it the Series X to keep that kind of premium idea, right? Like the Xbox One X, the Xbox Series X.
So whatever they release, it's going to be, hey, this is part of the Series X line.
Yeah, right?
Of things.
And then you've got, there's still the rumor of the lower cost point that we talked about last week, but there's also the new Xbox wireless controller. Notice they call it the Xbox wireless controller, not anything else.
That little button, the little third button.
Share.
Yeah.
I just read that. I did not realize that. It's fucking cool. You got a hybrid D-pad inspired by Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2. And this new controller will be compatible with Xbox One, Windows 10 PCs, and will be included with every Xbox Series X. That trailer for Hellblade is still just like...
Now, I know they said all that's in-engine.
Yes.
I still have a hard time believing, like, the whole game is going to look...
Did you play the first one?
I haven't. I mean, I know it's impressive, but usually whenever games show off the cinematic quality that's in-engine, the final product never looks like that 100% because they put all their focus into this one scene versus making a whole game. So I don't... like, I'm not expecting this level of facial animation.
You should.
I know I should be. But for some reason...
And honestly, if this were
the landscape and everything, like the whole game gonna look...
If this were any other studio, I'd be right there with you. Like, yeah, dude, we're fucking there.
We're finally there.
Because this team did stuff that was so impressive with like 10 people on that first game. And that first game was specifically, I think, what they called a double-A budget.
And that was before the acquisition.
Before the acquisition, they were still independent. They did a low budget on that game. Lower than it, right?
Because everything looked good in that. Like, it like the sky, the trees, everything. Like everything, just everything.
Fire attack, the fucking dude.
So like to have a whole game just look like that and not just like an intro thing or like, I guess I'm just not. My mind's just not adapted to that idea yet. That we're finally there. Like I know we've always been close, but
I am really excited. Additionally, so there's a blog post on Xbox Wire. The details, a little bit of the hardware, a little bit of that. The one big thing I want to call out is something we talked about before, but one console, 4 generations of gaming. One of the things we're most proud of with the Xbox Series X is the promise we're delivering to our fans who have and continue to invest with Xbox. Thanks to backward compatibility, you can expect your gaming legacy, thousands of your favorite games across 4 generations of gaming, all your Xbox One gaming accessories, and industry-leading services like Xbox Game Pass to be available when you power on your Xbox Series X in holiday 2020.
So here's a question.
Yep.
Anything that's been Xbox One X enhanced, does that get upgraded to Series X enhanced? Does that even mean anything? Is that even a possibility? I don't know.
Series X, from what I understand, from a technical standpoint, how they describe it is that there's the possibility of up to 120 frames per second with variable refresh rates and 8K capability. So maybe on a case-by-case basis, they could upscale to 8K depending on the game.
I'm really curious on how control's going to look on Series X versus One X.
I bet. I mean...
One X isn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, they never claimed it to be enhanced either, but it's not...
Well, this has, what,
PC
four times the processing power of the Xbox One X, so...
I mean, and it's basically a PC now.
I mean, all consoles are PCs.
Right,
but yeah.
But like, just... We're
Visually,
even closer to that than before.
Yes, and visually they make it look like a fucking tower, so...
Yeah.
I think it looks cool, dude.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm like so... When we saw it, like, nah.
Like,
I
see that... That is kind of the style. Like, I know a lot of systems have been leaning towards being more vertical based.
Yeah.
Even a lot of technology outside of gaming has been more like that. Like, I guess depending on your AI software in your house.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like those little pods or home, like Echo or whatever.
Yes.
Alexa, all that stuff.
No, that looks like the big ass fucking router that I have.
Yeah, I guess that's just the way we're going. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Having more vertical shelving units now instead of horizontal for your entertainment center.
I'm good with it, dude. Anything else at the Game Awards you want to talk about?
I guess it's not really related to the games that much, but I really like the Muppet bit this time around.
Yeah, it was much better now that Ninja wasn't a part of it.
Just I don't know, just with the whole goose thing. The way Beaker screams was making me laugh because he sounded like he was on fire and dying. Like he had screams of agony, and he just kept going.
I appreciate it, but I also felt like it kind of to put that with the games for impact category as you're trying to like convey this message of how serious games should be taken and all that stuff seemed a little. Unless that was intentional to kind of like, you know what I mean? Like have the comedic relief in something so serious, maybe.
I guess they just didn't know where to put it.
It just felt a little weird. How them introduce Grimes? I don't fucking know. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean that was a cool performance too. I did like the music performance.
Yes.
With all this,
I liked them. I liked Grimes. I liked Churches. Green Day was fine.
Green Day just flipped off the entire crowd for like a good while.
And it felt like I was 16 watching Green Day in 2005 being like, ooh, you guys are a little old, huh? And now here we are.
It felt like they didn't want to be there.
Well, yeah.
I just had that, they had that attitude about them, it felt like. But I don't know. I mean, it was fine overall. The Reggie speech has to be the most.
Reggie was definitely the one that hit me the most.
Yeah. That was probably the most impactful part of that whole thing.
Yeah, I agree. All right, State of Play happened Tuesday, December 10th, and oh boy, Mark. Untitled Goose Game coming to PS4 this Tuesday. You should buy Wadham instead.
It's also going to Xbox.
Also going to Xbox. And on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Spellbreak, a new battle royale game with magic. It looks kind of neat. I don't know. Dreams coming out on Valentine's Day, officially launching. I think by now the price has already gone up. So if you didn't buy it at that, early access price, yes. Superliminal. I saw this game before played. It's a weird perspective bending puzzle game.
That might be too much for me, for my brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it though. It's a good concept.
Paper Beast, a new VR game. That looked interesting. From the creators of Another World. Kingdom Hearts DLC, starting the year off right with Kingdom Hearts Remind, which seems to be bringing a whole bunch of Final Fantasy characters back into the fold, because I think that was something missing from 3.
Finally.
Predator Hunting Grounds, the kind of asymmetric Friday the 13th style Predator game. April 24th, 2020. Babylon's Fall. We first heard about this game from Platinum Games, but that was kind of it. It had been about a year. And we saw the trailer for it, and it looks like a different Astral Chain. But still very much a Platinum game.
Yeah, I was kind of a jerk online. Kind of like passively. And like I corrected I corrected their title by calling it Babylon's Fog.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a very dusty looking game.
It looked very dusty. It looked very orange. I don't know.
No, but I do like it has like a bit of the astral chain. It reminds me of a bit of Final Fantasy 15 in a way with like the ethereal swords. Hovering around. I'm a big fan of that. Even Devil May Cry kind of had that.
You could see that, hey, these are the people that made Nier Automata and Astral Chain. And
it looks like there's going to be 4 characters.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cool.
At the very end, there was like a silhouette of all 4 with that little weird back piece.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it's a multiplayer thing or if you're playing through different characters.
Interesting.
I'll try it out.
Yeah. And then the big one that sadly was no surprise. Resident Evil 3 Remake was officially revealed. Now, we had alluded to this on the podcast last week, but we did our job and did not spoil it. So hopefully you had avoided it, although it was pretty hard to. Can you imagine, though, if that artwork had not leaked on the PSN store? Like we had the Eurogamer thing, and it was like, well, yeah, okay, sure. I'm sure they would do that, but...
It was expected, but it just...
And the way they did it in the state of play,
dude, they couldn't change that script. They had to go with that.
Where they were like, "Hey, here's an update to Project Resistance, that
here's
multiplayer thing from TGS that you
here's a campaign for it." I'm like,
right.
Oh. And so, man, they try to throw everybody off so much.
It was such a cool trailer, and yeah, obviously got me back to finish Resident Evil 2 all the way around, and
it started to make me think about some of the details.
Yeah,
like I was watching people just like kind of going through the trailer and just kind of breaking it down, but I didn't like go too far with it. Like when it's in first person, and like Jill is running through the windows, there's like caution tape on those windows specifically, so it kind of looks like a visual cue for when you're probably playing the game. I know that part was first person, but I don't think the game will be first person. I think it's all going to be, like they said, like over the shoulder, like Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
But I still think there might be those little cues if you're running. Like, hey, you can go through this window. You can.
Because that was a thing in 3. I don't know a ton about 3. But
I don't either. But
I had heard. I mean, obviously some stuff this week. More people talking about 3, but that was the thing in 3 is that you have a lot more choice as you're running. Like with Mr. X, you just got to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
With Nemesis, it's like you can choose to do this or you can jump out this window or whatever. So, I can see that.
Little dodge mechanic. Yeah. I think that's why I booted up too. I mean, obviously out of hype for that, but I wanted to see like when you're running versus sprinting, how much does your character change its form?
Yeah, that like
that little dip. And it's like you don't really change much when you're sprinting in Resident Evil 2. You just your head just gets a teeny bit lower. Jill straight up ducked. Yeah. And then kept going. I was like, all right, yeah, that's a dodge.
Yeah. That's
probably a good... I mean, you're probably still clicking in the stick, maybe,
and you're
to run or something.
Playing as her, right?
Ooh, there might be sections kind of like where you're if you're Ada or Sherry, you might be Carlos.
Yeah. But I believe it's just a singular campaign because you look at the cover and it's very much like pulling on the style of Resident Evil 2, which if you just came off that, you're like, hey, I played as Claire, then I played as Leon.
Yeah.
You're going to look at this and like, oh, cool, now I have 2 more people to play as. And like, I don't know if it's going to be quite that.
No, I think it's Jill-centric for sure.
Yeah.
Do you know the time placement of this?
So I do now. Dude, I'm fucking in it, Mark.
Yeah.
Like, full, what did I...
It's like a span of 3 days or something.
Yeah, and it starts a little bit before, during, and after.
And after.
I can't fucking wait.
And then I guess this can tie with like everything around 2 lately. They've been updating that.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier on, but yeah, they added some stuff, and then
there's a secret achievement.
Yes,
they added into the new demo.
Yes,
it's not timed anymore, so that one-shot demo is just an RPD demo. You can take as much time as you want.
Yeah, they
added a little Easter egg in that. That's probably in the full version too now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that that's the kind of stuff I like that I guess we can do now with games. You can bring them a little more up to date and make it more aware of the other games involved,
especially
in the
with
timeline.
this game in particular. Like, that's such a weird. It's unique for now, right? Like, I'm sure if they could have done this back with the PS1 games, they would have, right? Like,
and I can smell this being a bundle in the future.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. It just makes me want, like, what is next, right? Do they remake 1 again? Do they remake 4? Do they just go to 8?
I would like
first
them to
person.
I would like them to keep first person and go to 8,
Yeah.
and then maybe come back for more remakes and like while working on sequels. I think that's I like going that direction.
With 8 though, would you want them to play? Would you want it to? Because 7 was not any of our traditional.
No, but it was alluding.
It was leading there right by the end.
It was leading
of it,
to
yeah.
like what we remember.
Yeah.
And the DLC was embracing that.
Yeah.
So I really want to see that go full force.
Yeah.
Like I want everything to come together. Like kind of redeem 6.
You think that'll be out 2021?
No. Ooh, probably not.
I wonder what happens.
And I would still. I mean, there probably won't, but I would still want the VR capability.
Yeah. I mean, hey, there might be, right? You
Just
think
as an option. Doesn't have to be mandatory.
PS5 will have VR.
Yeah.
PC's got VR. So yeah, that'll be out April 3rd, 2020, and then it'll include Resident Evil Resistance, right? Isn't that what it's called now?
So because I felt like that was the best way to give that game out or sell it, because I don't think anybody's going to buy that much. If it was by itself, it wouldn't do well.
No.
So I guess that's a good way to add it in, and they look like they did a little more with it. So I hope it shapes up to be.
I'm down to play. You didn't play that beta, did you?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Very, very tight corners, very small.
Okay, I remember. Yep.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right for that kind of game to be in such an enclosed area. Like, I get it, but at the same time, it just seemed like it was doing more. It felt like it was working against it more than helping it.
Yeah, it sucks.
But now I saw that they added 2 new characters now.
That helps.
You know, you got your boy Martin Sandwich.
Of course, yeah, you gotta have. Is he named after Jill or?
I don't know. I don't know if it's built after that joke or not. I mean, I know that's like, I think that's like a real ass last name.
I mean, yeah, that's where the sandwich came from.
Yeah.
The Earl of Sandwich.
No.
Yeah, dude.
No, I don't believe you.
Dude, I can look. If this iPad stays alive.
No, but yeah. So hopefully they've gotten some good feedback for that and made that game a little more playable, or just at least a little more accessible. Earl of Sandwich.
Yeah, dude.
Coat of arms and everything.
That's a Wikipedia article right there.
Mm.
Anyway. Next year's looking good. Next year's looking damn good. But this year is also still good as well. And we've got actually, we don't. This is it. This is the last one.
Oh.
Shit, Mark. I didn't realize that. Let me take a hot look here. Let's pull up what I call this a calendar. It just organizes dates of the year, and you can organize with your brain.
That sounds helpful.
Yeah, today's the 16th, which means next Monday is the 23rd, which means this is the last podcast before Game of the Year goes live. So next week, December 23rd, which also looks like the first day of Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah next week. Our Game of the Year coverage kicks off with our first day of awards. So Monday morning, you'll get a podcast and you'll get an article. The article will have all the winners detailed and some write-ups about everything. In the podcast, you can listen to us go back and forth, cross things off the list, add things to the lists, etc., etc. If you want to see all the nominees, I will be posting everything that we had nominated sometime this week. So stay tuned to thefreecheese.com for that. And then that's Monday through Friday for all the Game of the Year stuff. Friday, of course, we'll crown the Game of the Year. We'll have our own personal top something lists go up. I think I'm at a cool 15 right now. Which is crazy, because a month ago, when I was sitting down to make that list,
Yeah.
I was like, shit, dude, how am I going to get to fucking 10? I got to 15. Not bad. And then we will be back on the 30th with a regular-ass episode to close out the year. Yeah, that is everything. I'm excited for everyone to hear Game of the Year. We'll have a Reader's Choice also, so if you're listening to this and you're like, those fuckers never picked the game I want. You can pick the game you want to pick. You want to vote for Bloodborne? You can do that. Freecheese.com. Watch out for the Reader's Choice Award, and you can cast your vote. I think that's it. Right?
Sounds like it.
Cool. Time for video games. You can follow us all on Twitter. The Free Cheese is at Some Free Cheese. The Mark is at Og_mental, and I'm at The Free Cheese. Go to thefreecheese.com, send an email to podcast@thefreecheese.com, and we'll read it on the air. Ask us anything.
I think you meant at Some Free Cheese.
What did I say?
You said at The Free Cheese.
Damn it. I thought I did it twice, and then I was like, nah, I'm good. Autopilot took over. Autopilot, you fucked me.
You find one, you find the other.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. Yeah, that's going to do it. We'll be back next week. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, listener, for listening. We'll see you next week.